All right, team. Today we have AMC earnings. AMC at 7:30s right now. Bear with me. Are these the right AirPods? Hold on, team. Sorry, guys. Let me find these. These might not be the right ones. Hold on. These might be my daughter's AirPods. All right, guys, hold on one second. Let me put the chart up. We do have AMC earnings today. It is time. Let me put the chart up. Hold on one second. You can kind of see the chart. We're going to do some polls like we always do for AMC earnings. Let me know what you guys think we're going to get here. We also have Rivian earnings today. Today is Q4 earnings for AMC. Let's see if the stock squeezes up some more. Bear with me. We're going to get some music rolling here as well. You can kind of see the AMC chart on the bottom right. Let me see if I can get my Bluetooth to hook up. See, I don't think these are my AirPods, man. These might be some other AirPods. Well, these are fully charged. Let me add. Okay, yeah, there we go. These are my daughters, but that's okay. At least she has a ridiculous name for them, so I know they're hers. All right, guys, AMC earnings. Again, we're going to do a poll here. AMC had a very strong open this morning and then kind of faded back down. We're going to get some music rolling here. But, yeah, they had a really good open. Went up to 850s. We are in AMC right now. We're currently holding AMC. So, yeah, hopefully bro. All right, let's remove this. And then we'll add it again. Bro. All right, guys, bear with me. SPY break it down here. We did take profit in there we go. We did take profit in there we go. We did take profit in Google. 400 from a day on that trade. Let me do this so you can hear the music. Let me know if you can hear the music. We're also going to do our poll right here like we always do. Hear the music. All right. Dude. Beat is going to be an option. Miss is going to be another option. And then neutral is going to be another option. Beat, miss, or neutral. Vote on that poll. We're also going to do a Twitter poll like we always do. My bad if you can't hear the music, guys. I will be right back. My daughter's AirPods apparently are kind of wacky and don't work that great. So I will be right back. While I do that, I'm going to plug these in. So that just in case, we're going to have backup headphones that we can play and use while we are waiting on everything else to happen here. There we go. All right, these are charging. Make sure. Okay, yeah, those are charging good. Yeah, vote on that poll. We're also going to do a Twitter poll before we leave. All right, AMC drops Q4. Let me tag AMC here. And we'll post this link here. Again, do me a favor while you're here. Hit that like button. What's up, Tyler? Hit that like button while you join the stream. And again, we're going to do our bull or bear response here. Bull, bear. How long? So the earnings actually drop at 4 p.m. We got a couple minutes. We will. All right. Vote on that poll on Twitter. We got the Twitter link going live pretty soon. It's at Beginner Trades if you want to find us there. I'll be right back, guys. Again, my headphones are kind of wacky right now, so I'll be right back, team. Bear with me. All right, guys. So we are back. Yeah, apparently my daughter kind of stole my AirPods. I don't know whether any other explanation for it. She swapped them out with hers. Hopefully, it just keeps working. Looking at the poll, 38% think beat, 46% think miss, 16% are neutral in the matter. We also got our YouTube poll live as well. Again, vote on that poll here. What's up, Tristan, Pascal, Tyler, Miller, DS? What's up, man? Mo, Mike. Yeah, again, we were green for a little bit on our AMC position today, and then it kind of reversed down, and we didn't end up selling or anything like that. Again, we did take some profit off of Google, a majority of the profit. We ended up posting on Twitter about it, and it looks like that was the right move because, to be honest, Google just didn't hold its gains after that, which is fine. Again, we got about 40 minutes. We're up about 400 on that trade, though, so it's like no matter what, we're going to be green in that. All right, SPY started to break down, though. Very choppy day. Adding to a choppy week. The market's been pretty slow. SPY at 730s right now, 730s. All right, guys. Also, if you want to be a part of our, we send a newsletter out every big stream. And again, you can find that link at beginnertrading.net/memberships. If you want to join that, we're going to send our newsletter out pretty soon here. What's up, Don? I don't know. If we look at AMC poll, I like looking at macro trends as my favorite polls to look at, or my favorite number. So here's AMC's trailing 12-month chart. So here is AMC's trailing 12-month chart. And you can kind of see last 12 months, they're down about $1.42 in EPS. They're getting a little bit tighter, though. I mean, you can kind of see here, like with AMC, it is getting a little bit tighter, so it's like starting out, let's see, what's the date here? This ad needs to go away. Yeah, so starting out in 2020, in March of 2020, they had a really big miss, but they've been tightening it up since then. You can kind of see the trend is getting tighter and tighter and tighter here, with the last one being their smallest loss per share in EPS per quarter at 22 cents. So they are trending. The trend doesn't look bad there. I mean, you can see the trend here and see that they are trending a little bit better. They were at their worst in March, but consecutively after that, the graph is moving down. So they're becoming more and more profitable. If you don't know, EPS is a gauge on profitability. And so it looks like they're becoming more profitable as time goes on. Hopefully they can show a profit this year. And I think if they do this quarter, they have a chance to really run up here. So we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Don, reasonable. And we're going to get ready to send our newsletter out. All right. So yeah, we're getting ready to send our newsletter out here. So we got NVIDIA. Insert that thing here. Let me get the number. I think I monetized the stream. Let me make sure I did. I did not. Let me monetize this mug real quick. There we go. We got about 100 people here. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, vote on the poll. We also got a Twitter poll going live right now. And watch the AMC earnings report and full call here. We will stream the entire thing live like we always do. So we generally stream all the big earnings, especially AMC though, because we're holding it. So it's relevant to us. And all right, we're sitting in that. Oh no, I did save and quit. Oops. Okay, yeah, there we go. Make sure this is right. All right, there we go. That's good. All right, yeah. So we got a chance here. I mean, ignore the chart today. You can look at the last 20 days have been pretty solid for AMC. I mean, they've gone from like $5 up to over $8 at one point, over sevens now. So they're up about 50% in the last 20 days or so, about 50%, I would say. And that's good. Obviously that's good. That's what we want for them. Uh, and yeah, let's see if they do something well. Again, if you look at their graph specifically, their graph looks to be doing a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and send this newsletter out for AMC. Again, this looks solid. The last 20 days look solid. And again, if you look at their actual EPS graph, both on a 12 yearly basis, they're becoming more profitable. And again, this is EPS. On a quarterly basis, this looks good, like an upside down stair step, and it's getting better and better with their last report, which was right here, being only 22 cents EPS loss per share. So again, that's the smallest EPS loss that they've had. Let's see, since 2019. So it's been 3 or 4 years since they've had a EPS that was less than that, which is good. That means they're trending in the right direction. Let's look at their actual revenue graph. All right, so here's their revenue. Here's the same thing, but with regards to revenue here for AMC. I'm gonna get these ads away. Go away. There we go. And their revenue solid. I mean, regardless of profitability, they make money. They bring money in. Here's the quarterly one, and just similar to the EPS, the quarterly one is trending, in a nice little direction here. Leveled off a little bit relative to like EPS, but still nice little stair step pattern there. And so, yeah, we got a chance. They are making some money with popcorn nowadays. I know that's kind of big news for them, is they're making money with popcorn. So Yeah. What's up, type? Yeah, for sure. All right, we got about 37 votes. Again, about 84% are bullish, 16% are bearish. So a large majority are bulls. Um, on Twitter, at least on our Twitter poll. And yeah, so AMC dipping down a little bit today at 7:30s here, but let's check our Discord out. Again, we did take some profit on Google here, which is nice to see. Look at our poll numbers. 46% think they're going to beat, 41% think they're going to miss, and 13% are neutral. And again, we are holding AMC. Again, our P&L on the day is still pretty solid. If you saw our Twitter post earlier, you got to be careful posting rockets now, according to the SEC. All I know is no rocket emojis about to be used here, you know. Shout out to the SEC for that one. Yeah, HYMC. Yeah, I heard about this one today. Somebody mentioned this one to me. I don't know if it's today, but rough looking yearly chart for sure. Rough looking chart. Here, let me fix this. Well, the SEC came out basically saying that. What did the SEC mean? I saw Mitch post it this week sometime. So let me see. So yeah, the SEC came out with some ridiculous stuff, man. The SEC basically said a federal court judge ruled that the rocket, money bag, and up chart emoji objectively mean one thing: a financial return on investment. Users of these emojis are hereby warned of the legal consequences of their use. So again, it's the rocket ship emoji, the money bag emoji, and the money sign emoji, which is ridiculous, bro. I would fight that in court all day. To be honest, obviously, I'm not telling people to buy. No emoji should have legal consequences. Like that's an absolutely absurd thing. The SEC saying, and yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, we also have some other earnings today, specifically AMC Rivian. Rivian earnings are today as well. Rivian's had a tough year as well, but a green day today. And again, so AMC earnings are scheduled to drop actually at 4:15. Rivian at 4:10. We also have Mara Blink earnings, Ross earnings, a few other ones too. We actually got a decent amount of bigger earnings today, relevant earnings. So the earnings call starts. Let me make sure I get this right. The earnings call starts at 5 p.m. today, so about an hour after the closing bell. All right, Rivian up to 1920s. But yeah, AMC down at 720s. Again, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, it was a nice little day for me. Like I said, we're up about 400. We've scaled out of most of the Google trade. Hey, what's up, Ali B? Good luck, bro. There's no music? Oh, my bad, guys. Here. Sorry, team. There we go. It should be way better. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous, man. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what you guys say. What y'all say don't matter much. But y'all aren't gonna catch me using it. I might use the diamond emoji, but I'm not gonna use that one though. You know. All right, guys, we got about 50 minutes before the AMC earnings drop. I wish I could do 2 polls at once. All right, guys, about 81% are bullish on AMC according to a Twitter poll we just ran. 19% are bearish. So mostly bulls here. In the comments here, we mostly bulls. Most people think they're going to beat earnings. And again, their graph looks solid here. If we look at their actual graph, the graph looks good. You know, here is their revenue graph. Revenue graph is doing better, especially when you look at it 12-month revenue. You know, so their trailing 12-month revenue actually looks really solid. Look at this. So here's their trailing 12-month revenue graph. That looks really solid. Here's their quarterly revenue graph chart, and that looks really solid as well. So this actually looks pretty good for them. Again, it doesn't mean that they're going to beat. It doesn't mean it. I hope they do. I'm holding it. And I hope they beat it. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean they will. Their trailing EPS graph looks pretty solid too. And so again, we'll show you guys this as well. Again, I think their EPS graph, you know, is very solid relative to some other stuff. I mean, there's again, with a company like AMC, it's all about like turning to profitability. You know, so it's like you can see since 2020, they essentially dropped their lowest last quarter. They dropped their lowest EPS since 2020. 2019 actually, but at the end of 2019, the December 2019 one was lower, but that was the best one prior to this last one here. So if they're trending in this direction, hopefully they could actually push for profitability. I think that's the big thing that people are going to be watching for is, are they going to make that push towards profitability? And again, we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens, but that is AMC right now at 7:30. Still got about, again, AMC numbers, the schedule here, guys. So AMC drops theirs at 4:15. Rivian drops theirs at 4:10. First Solar drops theirs right at 4 p.m. We also have NVAX dropping earnings today at 4 p.m. HP Inc. drops theirs at 4:15. Ross at 4. Mara, so crypto miner, drops theirs at 4:05. And so we're going to have a lot of stuff to cover before AMC actually drops their earnings report. A lot of stuff to cover, to be honest, before they actually drop their earnings report. Space, Virgin Galactic, drops theirs at 4:10 today as well. That'll be interesting to see. We've got Car Gurus. We got DDD, Big Five, a few other ones as well. Sorry, Bruce is begging for food over there. I can hear him. Carol's making his food, and he's impatient. Bruce is the most food-motivated dog I've ever met. Man, that dog is so food-motivated. Anyways, we've got Smile Direct Club, SDC, dropping theirs at 4 p.m. Again, AMC is expecting 20-cent EPS. 20-cent EPS, and we'll put this up. So again, AMC is expecting a loss of 20 cents per share on revenue of 1.01 billion is what their expectations are. Buller, Beetle, Rivian. I don't know. What do you guys think about Rivian here? Rivian expectations here are for $1.89. $1.89 loss per share for Rivian on revenue of $746.38 million. So most of the companies dropping earnings today are expecting losses. AMC, Rivian, but AMC, if so, a 20-cent loss per share is expected for AMC. If they do what's expected here, then that will be the smallest EPS loss since 2019. So, you know, even though they might be losing, it's still going to be lesser than 2019. And again, hopefully it's positive. There's a chance that we pull to a profit for last quarter, but you know, again, we'll see what happens here. We also have again Mara expecting 19-cent loss per share, Space expecting 54-cent loss per share, Big Five expecting 8-cent profit per share. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there's not really any other big ones, but AMC, Rivian, Mara, Urban Outfitters expecting 39-cent profit per share. Blink Charging Stations, an EV charging company, about 49-cent loss per share for that one. And again, let's look at some milestone levels for AMC. Here's the daily chart. Let's look at some milestone levels. I think $8 is a whole dollar level. If you look at just the movement over the last few days, it's been over and under $8 a few different times. And so I think watching 8 makes sense. I think 850 up here, right around the high of the day today, is big. And I think that's kind of the highs of the last, while. We have 820 level from yesterday, the high of yesterday as well. So I think looking at these levels makes sense. Again, if we extend this to the left here, 850s has had a few confirmations back there as well. You can kind of see 850 tested a few times. So I think 850 is reasonable to watch. The high of the last couple months is going to be 916, which the last time it hit that was December 1st. $10, obviously a big psychological level. I think that's an important spot to watch as well. And if we're looking at underneath the chart here, if we're looking at underneath at 7, makes sense to pay attention to. 650 here makes sense as well. So again, we'll see what happens. We are at 725s roughly right now, which again, people are acting like today's just the end of the world. But if you look at a 20-day chart, we're still pretty green on the last 20 days. We're up about 50%. We were at about $5 on the 30th of January. We're now at roughly 750, so that's a 50% gain. You know, 50% of $5 is $2.50, and we're up about $2.50 from the January 30th level here. So AMC's been doing pretty good over the last 20 days. We'll see if that momentum continues. I know they're also talking about potentially reducing shares. I think that would be a great thing for AMC to do. I think they need to reduce shares if they want a big parabolic squeeze. You know, I know AMC's float is over 500 million, and so I think, you know, reducing that float size is a really good step in terms of giving them some upward potential. Rivian potentially bouncing off of the volume weighted average price here. The AMC report drops at exactly 4:15. 4:15 is when the report comes out. So in about 35 minutes for the report. Rivian bouncing off of that volume weighted average price. All right, guys. So AMC at 730s. Yeah, I mean, I think even if we close where we are now, we're still doing pretty good. Yeah, y'all do me a favor. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Team. Messaging Adam Aaron and asking him how the... I'm getting a little bit of a bounce back in Google here. Again, we're in Ford. We're kind of going back and forth between break even on that one. We're also in Lyft today, which we're kind of neutral on that one. Rivian is bouncing up today. We also have Urban. Rivian, really nice strong day here. Rivian is expecting... right, guys, Rivian up to 1930s right now, 1930s. So Rivian is bouncing back. What do you guys think about Rivian? Do you think, again, the EPS expectations for Rivian are $1.89 loss per share? So 189 loss per share was what's expected on about 750 million in sales rev. They are expecting growth. We are starting to get a bounce back in Google, which we are still holding about 75 shares of. Not big on Rivian. Don't expect much. Yeah, I think the problem with Rivian is like Rivian had its day where, you know, Amazon and a lot of people bought it. The problem with Rivian is that it's going to be really tough for like up and coming EV brands to succeed. It's just going to be really tough for a lot of them to succeed. Again, you got to think about the amount of people who are willing to buy one. You got the stock might have a lot of investors, but you got to really think about how many people actually want to buy a Rivian car. With that, what separates Rivian from other EV brands out there? Like, it's really what separates them. Like, most people are going to buy a Tesla at this point in time if they want an EV. They're either going to buy a Tesla or they're going to buy another one of the big boys like Ford or, you know, whoever. You know, one of the other big boys, Porsche, Ford, Mercedes, whatever it is. So what's the niche of Rivian, and like what do they offer that's different than the rest? You know, because I think that's what's going to prove them good or bad. You know, how they succeed in that regard is going to depend on that, I think. Why is Bank of America trending? All right, guys, look at Rivian bounce right at the volume weighted average price, right at the VWAP here. Google bounced it up almost to 91s again. Ford testing that previous close. Lift up to over 10s. Yeah, I made money with Google today too, man. Hey, thanks, Flames. Yeah, man. Again, I've been talking about Google for a while. My swing trading strategy works really, really well for me personally. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. You got to be really careful with that type of stuff, with the SEC getting weird on rocket emojis and stuff like that. But yeah. Like I said, we're sitting nice on Google today. We're up about 400 right now. If you want to see P&L, a little bit less than that. We took some profit on it, though. We're going to hold 75 shares remaining here. Here's the current P&L list. So we're up about 384 as we speak here, about 384. Mostly from Google today is where that profit comes from, mostly Google. Again, our average on the remaining is 88.94 is our average. Rivian up to 1940s. All right, Rivian dipping down a little bit. AMC pretty sideways at this point in time. All right, we got about 176 votes. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's try to break over 100 likes today if we can. 48% think AMC is going to beat. 39% think we're going to miss. 12% think we're going to come in neutrally. Ford with a nice little rip up here. I'm offering AMCB. Yeah, me too, man. I hope we get it. Again, we'll see. Again, we did a Twitter poll as well here. We said, we asked people what they thought. Most people are bullish, which isn't a surprise. I guess 79% are bullish. Rivian pulling back a little bit here. 21% are bearish. 79% are bullish. $4. Hey, good luck, man. Again, guys, remember, AMC earnings are released at 4:15. Let me put this up on screen so you guys can see it. I think it's 4:15, or is it 4:20? No, it's 4:15. It'd be funny if it was 4:20 though. But yeah, so 4:15 release. The full earnings call will be streamed at 5 p.m. Right, so basically, here's everything to look for. AMC is scheduled for 4:15 release, and this is Eastern Standard Time. AMC is expecting a loss of 20 cents a share. Part of me wants to buy the dip, but all right, guys, Rivian at 1920s. Hey, good luck. Again, I certainly not recommending you guys do anything. I don't know what you should do there. Gold is now selling on selling mode or buying. Well, you can look at gold. Looks to be up today, up nicely today. Yeah, how's Ape doing here? Here's Ape. Ape up over 2s, which is good. Here's AMC. John, any realistic opinion on this earnings? So again, I'm going to preface everything. Like, number one, you're never going to ever catch me using a rocket or money bag emoji ever. Never, ever, ever. You know, I certainly can't guarantee you're going to make any money or do anything with this. The SEC is getting weird out there with that type of stuff. But when you look at AMC's EPS graph here, right? Here's the AMC EPS graph. What you'll notice is that they're trending a little bit better. They had their worst EPS loss in March of 2020, at the end of March of 2020. The next one was 538. The next one was 840s, but they started trending better and better. 440s, 140s, 71 cents, 22 cent, 31 cent, 65 cent, 24 cent, 22 cent again. And so I think if you look at this, this looks to be trending a little bit better. Now, I can't guarantee anything. I have no idea what AMC is going to do. Absolutely no idea what AMC is going to do here. You know, AMC might miss, they might beat. I am certainly not guaranteeing anything. I have no idea. You can see their 12-month trailing EPS looks okay as well. And so it's possible we get a little profitable, you know, EPS report showing up like that. Again, it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. All I'm saying is that it's possible. You know, and that, you know, we'll see what happens, but it is possible. Time will tell. When you look at their revenue graph here, we can also look at their revenue graph. Here's the revenue graph. Same thing. Again, here is their revenue EPS graph from macrotrends.net. You can kind of see, and again, their trailing 12 months has gotten noticeably better. Their revenue has climbed up as well some. And so again, I'm not guaranteeing this is going to be, you know, good or bad, but that looks like an okay little trend. This looks like an okay trend as well. So, you know, revenue graph looks optimistic. EPS graph looks optimistic. I'm hoping, you know, they continue. I really don't know what we're going to get here, though. I genuinely don't know what we're going to get here. Hopefully we get some good stuff, but again, can't guarantee anything, and we're just gonna have to wait and time and tell. Again, it's the earnings aren't gonna come out until another about 25 minutes or so. So we still got about 25 minutes before these actual numbers come out. Smile Direct Club is expecting 21-cent loss per share on 90.62 million. Yeah, we'll cover Smile Direct. We're going to cover all the big ones that drop. Smile Direct Club drops at 4 p.m., so that's in 8 minutes. So we'll definitely cover that. We'll definitely cover that. But AMC's doesn't drop for 15 minutes later, so we still got about, like I said, we still have about over 20 minutes before AMC drops their EPS and sales revenue and numbers for earnings. Again, it is quarter 4 earnings, so it's quarter 4. Again, be ready. And then again, Rivian also drops theirs. Rivian is expecting 189 loss per share on 746.38 million in rev or sales. So that's what we got. We can see Ape is almost green on the day. Ape has been moving up, and we can see Ape over a 20-day period is still down, but this is a special dividend here, so it's not going to move exactly like a stock. Here's AMC again. AMC over a 20-day period looks optimistic. Very green over the last 20 days. Again, it's up 50% in the last couple weeks. And so, another one to look at is Space. Space is up over the last few weeks. This one used to be much higher. If you look at like a longer term chart, Space used to be doing much better, but again, they just kind of struggled lately. Coin toss. Yeah, looking at our poll numbers here, we do have some polls going here. About 233 votes. Most people obviously think AMC is going to beat. 50% of the votes think AMC is going to beat. So about 100 and 100 and something votes think that AMC is going to beat. Yeah, so about 118 votes think AMC is going to beat. About 37% think they're going to miss. 12% think it's going to come in neutrally. Yeah, I don't know about Space. We'll see what they do. Again, y'all can follow me on Twitter. We do polls for all the big streams. Let me be careful. The SEC said using the money bag emoji, the rocket emoji. The money bag, the rocket emoji, and the graph. We're dangerous. So with AMC earnings today, be careful. Don't use those emojis. Which is kind of scary, but yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen. Be careful using those emojis. All right, AMC pulling back down to 720s right now, 720s. No, so AMC's not out yet. Again, AMC scheduled for 4:15 Eastern Standard Time, 4:15. Yeah, a lot of comments about these emojis. Hey, yeah, market's turning here. Luckily, I took profit on my Google trade, and it looks like it was the right move because the market's turning here. I took profit at the very top too. Bro, something told me to check my chart, and I checked my chart, and I was like, oh, I'm deep in profit. I'm going to run over there. And I ran over there, and we cut profit like we should have in Google. And yeah, in hindsight, it was definitely the right move because, yeah, we got out damn near at the top. Again, if you want to look at our actual exits out of Google here, this was our exits from Google. So, looks like it was the right move. You can see we got out a large majority of the 175 shares here. We got out 175 here. 75 at the top this morning. So right at the tops, man. Hey, you love to see it. We did well with that. I'm happy about that for sure. Could have been a lot worse if we held it and we would have missed out on a lot of those. All right, 90-40s. Guys, 90-40s for Google. Yeah, that's a big boy trade, Ali B. That's what I'm saying. People, like my guys calling me a fraud as I show my exit of like hundreds of Google shares, bro. That position, like I said, just the position on Google, to be honest, was, let me see how much that trade was about a $50,000 position, man. Like people can say what they want. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Nobody, again, it doesn't matter. There's the closing bell. Most of the time, the people who are the most vocal criticizing others are usually the ones who lose the most. And so it's all good. There's the closing bell. We still got 15 minutes before the actual earnings for AMC come out. Yeah, AMC down to 716s. But again, AMC's up about 50% over the last couple weeks. Yeah, just look at how many shares I got out of Google. I told y'all I had gotten into a pretty big trade, and we got out at the top. We're still holding 75 shares of it. But yeah. But we paper trade, they say. You know, I don't even think I can do that. I don't even know if I can look at the history of my exits on paper like that. I know you can't trade in pre-market super well. The fills are terrible. AMC up to 720s here. Again, they're expecting 20-cent loss per share. All right, so AMC, again, they're expecting about 20-cent loss per share. Yeah, again, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. So I don't know what's going to happen here. What I will say is that, you know, I'm hoping that this EPS graph and this looks like the revenue graph. What I'm hoping is that this revenue graph continues to trend this way. Again, I don't know if it's going to be this earnings report. We still have about 15 minutes, but you can kind of see here's the trailing 12-month EPS. It has been stair-stepping here. And again, I can't project anything in the future. I have no idea what's going to happen. But if that pattern continues, it'll look like that, hopefully with revenue. And with EPS, hopefully it'll be a similar thing. Again, we don't know for sure. Not an investment professional. I might have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about everything. Okay, but we did have some earnings that just dropped. I forgot about this. So we did have some earnings that just dropped. What was the other ones that dropped right at 4? It was Smile Direct Club. So let's check the ones that are dropping right now. SDC posted a fourth quarter loss per share of 18 cents. So Smile Direct Club had a smaller EPS loss than expected. Smaller EPS loss than expected for SDC. They're at 60 cents now. 18-cent loss per share for SDC. The other one, First Solar, dropped their earnings. 41-cent loss per share for First Solar. Or fourth quarter loss per share of 7 cents. EPS of guidance numbers came in as well for First Solar. And again, I'll put the First Solar numbers up so you guys can see it. Yeah, I had to refresh. No, Rivian doesn't drop theirs for a couple minutes. So Rivian doesn't drop theirs. So yeah, there's the EPS numbers. It looks like we struggled. Yeah, I've got some shares. I'm holding AMC. I've been holding it for a while too. You know, diamond handsing, if you will. And I'm not a big, I'm not a big proponent of diamond handsing anything, but I have been holding AMC for a while. You know. So hopefully it goes up. I want to see it. Again, I'm an ally. I want to see it go up. You know. All right. So again, Rivian drops theirs at 4:10. So we still got about 6 minutes for Rivian, but at 4:05 we're gonna have Mara. So we're gonna have Mara, Space at 4:10. Urban Outfitters and Blink. So Blink came out with theirs, BLNK, at 9:11s right now for Blink. Put this up to make sure we don't miss it. So Ross came out with their EPS numbers. We're going to put Ross data on screen as well now. Yeah, AMC dropped for sure, but it's still up about 50% over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it's like, you know. I'm not going to say it's good. Dropping is never really good necessarily, you know. I mean, you can paint it in a positive light and say it needed to happen, but I don't know if any drops are necessarily good. Yeah, honestly, that movie looks hilarious. Again, expectations are 20-cent loss per share on revenue of 1.01 billion. So their revenue is really solid. And generally, when you have that solid of revenue, usually you're going to start to optimize it and get better margins. All right, so there's 405. We should have had Mara earnings. Let's see if they showed up. All right, so yeah, Google's still over 90. Monster earnings. Yeah, I remember the last AMC earnings report. Oh boy, was like eating popcorn during it, right? Do y'all remember that? He was like eating popcorn during the earnings report. I remember I had some funny emojis, but All right, guys. AMC down to 7, bouncing at $7 hold dollar level. Again, we still got a little bit of time here. We got about 3 minutes before Rivian numbers are out. Let me make sure Rivian numbers aren't out yet. There's AMC on the left. Doesn't look like Rivian's out with theirs either. Make sure. Okay, no, Rivian is out. Rivian numbers just dropped about 10 seconds ago. So Rivian numbers are out. Let me read it. I hate reading earnings reports, man. I genuinely hate them. Rivian down to 1870s. So Rivian dumping down here, down to $18 a share for Rivian. Look at the drop in Rivian right now. Rivian dumping down here. I'm waiting to see what the actual EPS numbers were. But Rivian is not reacting well. That's fine. Twitter is usually pretty good for this. So Rivian tanked and now it's rebounding here. We still got about 5 minutes. Rivian posted 173 versus 194 loss per share on revenue. So Rivian's revenue missed is what it was. This is the reason they're down, is Rivian revenue was much worse than expected here. We're also going to throw it in sub only mode. If you haven't already subbed, hit that sub button, guys. We appreciate it. There's the sub only mode. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Yeah, so 4:15 is when they drop. They drop in about 6 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I know how to read them. We got the data posted. There's AMC popping up. I don't think it's early. They're not supposed to drop theirs for another 5 minutes. So we still got about 5 minutes before the numbers come out. But they're up to 720, so that's nice. Look at that red to green level in pre-market. They're technically green from after hours. So they're technically green from after hours. Hopefully that continues, but again, we'll see. Yeah, Rivian, I just don't trust it. Rivian, the problem with Rivian is that what's the selling point for Rivian? Like, genuine question. What's the selling point for it? Like, what's the reason to buy it? Like, what's the justification to buy Rivian? Like, outside of the stock market, if you had never traded stocks before, and you had never heard about Rivian in that regard, would you buy a Rivian? Probably not. You're going to buy a Tesla. You're going to buy a Ford. Or you're going to buy a Chevy EV or whatever, Toyota EV, Mercedes, Porsche EV. You're not going to buy a random EV. What's the selling point of Rivian? That's the question I have. I'm not saying there's no selling point. I'm genuinely asking what that selling point is. Again, they did better than expected for EPS. Their EPS came in at 173 loss per share. Their revenue came in lower than expected, though. That's why they're dropping right here. I don't see any guidance numbers for Rivian yet. But we're going to look. Monster Beverage did come out with their numbers. They came in at 57-cent EPS. And remember, EPS is profitability. They expected 63-cent. They expected 63-cent profit. Revenue of 1.51 billion. They expected 1.6. So Monster actually had a pretty bad number here. Let's go buy a Mullen. I ain't buying a Mullen, bro. The CEO of Mullen looks like counterfeit Elon Musk. He looks like the CEO of Mullen looks like if Elon Musk and Elvis had a baby. You know, the CEO of Mullen would pop out after that. All right, guys. Google break it down a little bit. I'm glad I took that a large majority of it off. We got 75 shares of Google. We had 425 shares. Yeah, I'm not saying Rivians aren't dope, dude. I'm not saying Rivians aren't cool. What I'm saying is that, they're not going to have enough people that are looking at what a Rivian is to sell it. There's not enough customers interested in buying one. Even if they're the coolest thing around, again, there's just not enough people who want one, if that makes sense. I don't think NIO drops theirs today, do they? No, I think NIO drops theirs tomorrow morning, if I remember correctly. Let me check. Yeah, NIO drops theirs tomorrow morning. So yeah, I was right. So tomorrow morning at 5 p.m. Eastern is when NIO comes out with theirs. Bro, I got the sun in my eyes, man. All right, guys, we have about 3 minutes here for AMC. About 3 minutes before the AMC numbers come out. Really about a minute and a half left. Or really about 2.5 minutes. What movies were out? Black Panther, Avatar. Yeah, AMC earnings aren't going to come out until so Rivian started to rebound back up here. AMC numbers aren't going to drop for another 2 minutes or so at 4:15, and then the actual earnings call is going to be at 5. Yeah, I have AMC. I'm holding AMC. I've been talking about holding AMC for months and months now. I've been holding it for a while. So yeah, I've been in it. I hope it goes up. You know. I hope so, man. That movie's getting a lot of hype. My daughter knows about that movie, and she's like 13, and she was like, "Daddy, you see this movie about the bear?" And I was like, "Yep." You're not watching it, you know, but that's how much that movie's getting hype. So maybe it'll help AMC. Rivian starting to bounce back at about 1820s right now. Over 18s. Pretty rough reaction. Again, Rivian beat on EPS. And so just to put it into perspective, EPS is profitability, right? So better than expected EPS means the company was more profitable than expected. Same thing with revenue. It's basically how much money they're bringing out. So, you know, how much profit potential they have with revenue. But they had noticeably less revenue versus expectational numbers for Rivian. Again, Rivian expected $746.38 million for revenue. They only ended up showing 663, so noticeably less. They're starting to fight back, though. You can see this previous closing price level. There's less than a minute, or really, we got about 15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds. Again, bear with me. We got a lot of screens up. We're going to get ready to watch AMC. They're scheduled to come out right now, so let's see what they show up as. All right, so they're supposed to drop right now for AMC. Waiting. You'll notice when volume increases, the earnings are out. So when volume increases, that's when the earnings are out. All right, nothing for AMC yet. They were scheduled to drop at 4:15, which was about 30 seconds ago. Nothing out for them yet. Waiting. Again, nothing yet. You can kind of see the chart's flat right now. No movement for AMC. There's the chart right there. No movement here. And waiting here, guys. Waiting for the data to come out. $720s right now. Rivian's starting to push back up. Again, we're going to put this chart up so people can know. It's supposed to drop at 4:15. Nothing yet, though. Still slow. Again, if the earnings are out, you'd see it move. And we don't have anything yet for that. So yeah, that's right, Corey. Hey, too much money to count. That's right, man. We'll see. 722 for AMC right now. 4:15 is when the earnings are scheduled to come out. So that was a minute ago. Still not out yet. We got about 1,000 people here. So, hey, y'all subscribe if you haven't. Nothing yet. Rivian rejecting under 18. AMC earnings are supposed to come out right now, Maxie. They're supposed to come out like 2 minutes ago, but nothing yet. So they're a little bit late, which is weird. If you guys remember NVIDIA earnings, they were late. You know, last week NVIDIA dropped earnings and they were late. I just hope you remember the guy eating popcorn on the AMC earnings report last time. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember the last AMC earnings call where somebody was eating popcorn while he was talking and everybody was like, dude, is he eating right now? And he was. Rivian pulling back down under 18s. Rivian guidance. I can check to see if they did post guidance. I don't think they did, but they might have. Let me check. So they did. The Rivian did post some guidance. They posted vehicle production guidance. They see about 50,000 vehicles being produced in 2023. About 50,000 vehicles. So that's positive. I think that's a decent number relative to some other EVs. Space earnings. 55-cent loss per share on Space. SPCE Virgin Galactic, they expected 51 cents, so they missed EPS. 55-cent loss per share versus 51-cent estimates. Sales revenue of about 869,000, which beat the 340,000 estimate. So sales revenue beat expectations, EPS missed. So less profitable than expected, but more revenue than expected. You know, about 2.1x, 2.2x revenue. All right, guys, weird, man. Again, NVIDIA was late last time. All right, so AMC starting to dump down a little bit here, but I don't think, okay, so they're starting to move now. Let's see if they're actually out yet here. They're late, but they are starting to get some volume. Okay, so their earnings are out. AMC is out with their numbers here. Finally, AMC posted a 26-cent loss per share, missed the 21-cent estimate. Sales of 968.4 million, missed the 977 million estimate. So they missed on both metrics here. They missed on EPS. They missed on sales rev. Here's the numbers right here. They finally dropped their numbers. That's them right there. So they missed on both EPS and sales. But they're not really reacting in the most negative light. They're starting to bounce back a little bit. They're at 710s right now. So again, they missed on EPS. They missed on sales. But they haven't really had a big negative reaction here. Let's see if anything else. So AMC green relative to when the earnings drop up to 725s. Let's look at Ape to see how that's responding to all this now too. Ape is up as well. So 725s, but yeah, missed on EPS, missed on sales. Serious question, John. How can AMC squeeze if people are loaning out their shares? Because anytime you short a stock, that's people loaning out their shares. You know, the people you're getting your shorts from are long-term investors of the company who don't care about short-term price fluctuations, right? So when shorts cover positions, they have to buy it back. And so when they all cover positions, it creates a lot of buys, that kind of domino-like momentum coming through, pushing it higher and higher. And the more it pushes up relative to where the shorts entered, the more they get pushed out, and the higher it goes. Shorting is again, shorting is like going up to your neighbor and say your neighbor's like a long-term investor of sugar. Say your neighbor's buying, diamond handsing sugar. All right. So you go up to your neighbor, you're like, yo, let me borrow a bag of sugar that costs $1. So you take your bag of sugar and you immediately sell it and you put the $1 in your pocket. And then you wait for the price of sugar, a bag of sugar, to drop to 50 cents. And then you buy that bag of sugar back for 50 cents. And then you return it to your neighbor, who again is holding it indefinitely long-term. So he doesn't care about short-term price fluctuations. And you give him back the bag of sugar, profiting the 50-cent difference. That is what shorting is. Might be kind of confusing, but like that's essentially what it is. And so the people you're getting your shares from are long-term investors who don't care about short-term price fluctuations. It's one of the reasons like blue chips are going to be easy to borrow. Why? Is because they got so many long-term investors that are willing to loan you out their shares because they don't care about short-term price swings, and so they might as well cop their little percentage points from it and not really worry about short-term downswings. It's one of the reasons penny stocks are very difficult to short, because there's not a lot of long-term believers in those companies, and so you got to locate them, and that costs money. But AMC pump it up at 730s right now, 730s. Yeah, I mean, I think this reaction is positive considering what the actual EPS and revenue numbers came in as. So we do have the earnings call. So we will be doing the earnings call. Yeah, I'm looking at the AMC numbers. Again, they missed on EPS. Oh, no, I'm sorry, guys. Whoa, correction. I don't know who posted this before, but it looks like AMC beat on EPS. They posted 14-cent loss per share versus 21-cent estimate. Sales of 990 million beat estimates. Bro, I don't know who reported this originally, but AMC beat their EPS expectations. And again, this 14-cent EPS number is... This 14-cent EPS number is a smaller loss than they've had in 3 years. The last time they posted an EPS number that was this good was in 2019. And so again, the last time they were posted, and it looks like they beat on revenue as well. They came in at 990 versus 977. I don't know who posted the wrong info, but it wasn't just me that had this wrong info. It was multiple different sources. So for whatever reason, AMC numbers came in incorrect. AMC says that they're urging shareholders to vote for recommended proposals at the March 14th special meeting of shareholders. Again, so they're urging shareholders to vote for the recommended proposals at that March 14th meeting. Yeah, it wasn't just me. It was a bunch of different sources that had it wrong. So for whatever reason, but yeah, they came in better than expected here, guys. So better than expected EPS, better than expected rev. Bro, this sun has got to go somewhere, man. Let's bring it through this way, man. It's too bright. Yeah, that might have been why there was a delay. But again, they came in better than expected on EPS, better than expected with sales. And again, AMC is urging shareholders to vote for the recommended proposals at the March 14th meeting. So you can kind of see AMC urging shareholders to vote for recommended proposals at the March 14th special meeting of shareholders. Yeah, it wasn't just me. It was a few different places. But that's why AMC, again, considering this, I'm wondering why AMC didn't have a larger reaction than this. That was pretty good numbers. I mean, beating EPS and beating revenue. An ape up to 206. All right, guys, 722 for AMC, so it's fighting back here. Let's see if we can start to break the highs up there. $722s. All right, guys, we got the actual earnings call at 5 p.m. in about 30 minutes for the earnings call. It's starting to creep up again at 720s. Not the biggest move for AMC, but I'm surprised it's not a larger move than this. We're up to 723s right now. And it might just be like, again, if you look at a 20-day chart for AMC, it's still very green over the last 20 days here. So again, 20 days ago is at roughly $5. So it's up like 50% relative to then. At 730s now, starting to creep up a little bit more finally here. So AMC started to test the top of the after hours trend. Let's see if that continues here. Starting to move a little bit. I don't know why the SPY tanked. Nothing really big that should influence the market, to be honest. Feels like every time AMC rallies big, they'll dilute. I don't think they're going to dilute again. They're not going to do another secondary offering, I would think. Again, if they did, I think they'd get a lot of heat for it. I think they've been talking, all right, 750s for AMC. Now we're talking. Now it's starting to look a little bit better here. But yeah, I think... Bro, this sun is bad, man. I'm trying to fix this. The sun's not so profound here. But yeah, so let me see if I can do it this way. But yeah, I think there's AMC up to 750s. I think a lot of them are talking about doing a buyback program and reducing the size of the float. I think that's what they need if they want parabolic movement from AMC. I mean, with the float of 500 million, it's going to be hard to make a really big squeeze, to be honest. The float's just really large. And so because of that, you know, it's one of those things where you want a big squeeze, you need to reduce the float. The float's too large. All right, guys. So APE is pushing up. It's at 211s right now. 211s. AMC is at 740s. So again, the earnings call is going to start. Let me make this so you can actually see what the earnings actually are. Yeah. So. All right, so we got that one trending at the bottom. Yeah, Blink is out already. Blink posted. All right, as of February 28th, AMC has sold an additional 6.6 million shares of APE units and raised a gross proceed amount of $9.6 million before commissions and fees. They just reported that their fourth quarter loss, they did put a number on that, came in at 287.7 million. Again, that number's up there. Yeah, for sure. I think they need to do a buyback or something. They need to reduce the size of the float if they want a big move. So the actual earnings call starts in about 25 minutes. Yeah, EPS came in at 14-cent loss per share versus 20, but it was positive though. So the EPS technically was a losing EPS, but it was better than expected. And with earnings, it's all based off of expectational numbers. Bro, I need some sunglasses here, man. But yeah, it's all based off of expectations. So it was better than expected, but it was still negative. Is essentially what it was. Again, y'all give me a follow on Twitter at Beginner Trades. At Beginner Trades is my Twitter handle. Ipsy dipping all the way back down some. Also, guys, check out Top Step. Top Step is a sponsor of mine. What they do is they give you a demo. If you look at the SPY, and you want to trade the broader market, in the futures market, the E-mini is the S&P 500, and you can day trade it without restriction by the PDT rule. Top Step is a funded account program where they give you a demo, and if you can hit the target on that demo while following their rules and conditions, then they fund you the same amount. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. They fund thousands of traders a year. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money, and so I'm definitely biased in that regard towards Top Step. But I think it's way cheaper to try the futures market out with a funded account program than it is to put up the money yourself. A large majority of day traders lose money, and so it's a lot cheaper to lose a Top Step account. The base one's less than $140 if you use my link. And if you lose it, it's not the end of the world, but it still gives you some pressure to succeed. And if you're a good enough trader, you can try to pass their testing. And if you do, you get funded with a 90% profit split. And so again, if you want to check it out, great way to help support the channel, great way to test your trading skill for very cheap. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Again, they are a sponsor of my content, so check them out. If I reported lower than expected losses to my bank for my business, they would pull our notes. Yeah, but I mean, you gotta think about earnings as a whole, right? It's all relative to expectations. A company can lose $100 million. But if they expected to lose $200 million, they're still probably going to go up from that earnings report, And so it's not about how much they lose. It's not about them losing, I mean, we can harp on that, but it's more so about the expectational numbers. And again, they posted the best profitability, even if it was losing still. They posted the best profitability than they have since 2019. Since December of 2019 was the last time they posted anything that parallels what they posted today. So that's an optimistic sign. And again, it's as we showed you guys earlier here. As we showed you earlier, that was the better earnings report we've had in a while. If you look at the actual EPS graph here, here's an easy way to look at it. It's trending in a positive light. Like here's their EPS. I don't think this includes today, but trailing here, the last time we had an EPS at this was in December of 2019 right here. And so that's a positive, optimistic sign. Again, are they profitable? No, not yet. But they're trending that way. Yeah, more movies in the first quarter. Yeah, and I think somebody told me this as well last week, which is that AMC pre-pandemic was at like $30 or $40. And it's true. Pre-pandemic, it was at, $20 to $40 a share. Right around here, right? So if you look at it, pre-pandemic, it was all here. And so it's reasonable to assume that we might rebound back up there since things are clear and head back up to at least these levels short term. Maybe not. Again, I have no idea what AMC is going to do. I'm not an investment professional. I could be wildly wrong and have no idea what I'm talking about. And a lot of you might agree with that. But again, I thought that was a reasonable way to look at it. And maybe that's right. So again, we're in AMC. We've been holding this one, and we're just going to keep holding it. Yeah, we'll stream the full earnings call, the complete full earnings call. Yeah, I don't know about a pump. I mean, the last time, I rode AMC up to like $65, and then I sold it, and then I bought it back sometime over the last couple years, and I've been sitting on it since then. So hopefully we can push back up. I'm hoping so. Rivian, did Rivian ever bounce back from where it was? What indicators do I use? I use volume weighted average price. I use the volume weighted average price a good bit, you know. I use previous closing price. Most of the time, though, with longer term trades, none of that matters. Technicals, the more you zoom out, the less technicals matter, in my opinion, though. Yeah. Yeah, bro, you see this, man. I'm like, I need to get some sunglasses out here, man. I'm struggling with the sunlight. Yeah, we do a little bit of everything. I'm mostly a swing trader. Like, I probably make most of my money swing trading. And again, I'm up about $300-400 on the day. We scaled out of. Again, we just exited Google today. We exited right around 91.15s, 91.20s. Maybe could have gotten a little bit more than that too. It pushed up a little bit more, but we got out around 91.20s, 91.15s. On Google. Still holding about 75 shares, but we have like 400 and something shares. I probably make more. I'm green on the year. I'll put it that way. But we day trade as well. We day trade, we swing trade, and we invest. We do a little bit of everything. Yeah, we day trade at the open every weekday. Yeah, AMC earnings are out. They did better than expected on EPS, better than expected on sales. Still losing EPS. Sales came in, noticeably better than expected though, so that's good. Yeah, I feel you, Sky. It's all good. I understand. Yeah, the Ape coin is from the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It has nothing to do with AMC, the movie theaters. Stock like that we're looking at today. It's not the same thing. It's different. Ape coin is Bored Ape. Ape symbol in the stock market is special purpose AMC dividend shares, basically. So it's just a different thing. Yeah, AMC's up and down, up and down. Maybe the earnings report will say something positive. I'm hoping they do, man. But we'll see. Got about 20 minutes before the earnings drop, about 20 minutes. But yeah, my big thing here is like I try not to claim. I don't claim to be an expert. I have no idea what anything is going to do. Not a trading professional. Again, I think the more pressure you put on yourself in that regard, the worse you're generally going to do. And so I'd rather just tell people like, yo, I'm not an expert, not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. No idea what's going to happen. Because I think the people who are like, yeah, I'm the greatest. I took $500 and I turned it into $50K yesterday. I'm the greatest. Buy my trading course, right? I think they start having to live up to that. And so it's like they're more likely to fudge their numbers because it's like they're telling everybody they're such a great trader, selling them a day trading course. But then it's like, they end up just kind of cherry picking their winners and only showing their winners or whatever it is. I'd rather just say, hey, look, I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't copy me, and just not have any pressure. I could lose every day if I wanted to, and nobody can tell me a thing because I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not selling my content. My content's all free. Doesn't cost a penny. Bro, this sun, man, I need like an umbrella or something right now. Yeah, AMC's already out with their numbers here. Here's the numbers for AMC right now. They came in at 14-cent loss per share, beat the 21-cent loss estimate. Sales of 990.9 million, beat the 977 million estimate. So, yeah, those are the numbers right there. All right, AMC at 715s right now. Man, I can hear like an echo in this thing. Sorry, I got a studio in here, so I just grabbed whatever this is for my studio. Now I look like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Any audiobooks or books you recommend? Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas is probably the best trading book they're ever made. I mean, books are good and all, and like you can listen to people's experiences, but books aren't going to teach you how to trade. We're past that as a technology. Books are good. I'm not knocking on books, but like you're not going to learn to trade from books. You know, the real way you learn to trade is just conditioning through repetition and experience. Like you just do it over and over and over again until you start picking nuances up and start to really understand how it goes. And then, you know, you kind of condition yourself like Pavlov and the dog to kind of do the right things and do the correct things over and over and over again until it becomes second nature, to where you can protect your account naturally without, you know, worrying about it, and you do the right things. That's kind of what it is. But all right, guys, we got the actual earnings call starting at 15 minutes. Is the sun past? Oh, all right, we're just gonna hang out over here now. That's gonna be easier. All right, market's bouncing back a little bit. It's at 396s. Yeah, NEO earnings drop tomorrow morning. Is what it is. So NEO earnings drop tomorrow morning. Again, we do have the actual full earnings call dropping today. Okay, again, the full earnings call starts in 15 minutes. Rivian's already out with their numbers here. Rivian numbers, I'll put them up in chat for you. But yeah, Rivian's already out with theirs. They beat on EPS, missed on revenue, and the miss on revenue caused them to drop pretty big. They also put out some guidance numbers. They guided for production of 50,000 vehicles in 2023. So they expected to produce about 50,000 vehicles this year. We'll see if they hit it or not. But I'll put the numbers up in chat for you if you want to see it. There it is right there. Also put the guidance as well. But yeah, Rivian has not reacted very well to this. Rivian dropped from about 1920s all the way down to 1817s at some points, right around $18 now. Yeah, no worries. Oof. Yeah, AMC sideways right now. If you look at the chart, it's purely sideways here. You can kind of see it. We got a rectangle chart for AMC right now. And again, maybe we break out of that. I don't know, but we'll see. No, I'm not watching AMC. What's AMC? What's those? What is AMC right now, man? What is that? I hear a lot of people talking about it here, but I don't know what it is. What is PSNY? Polestar? Is that Polestar? Polestar's changed the symbol name so many times for me to remember what it is. Yeah, Polestar. I've seen one of these actually in person before, believe it or not. Rough yearly chart. Not as bad as some of the other yearly charts that we're seeing, though, in EV. Yeah, I mean, we heard you. You know, Lone Wolf of Wall Street. Congrats, man. That's great. What are those? Yeah. You right? Never heard of it? Yeah, me neither. No, we're not streaming Rivian. We're streaming AMC Call probably, or almost. Yeah, we're streaming AMC Call. Let me get it ready. Yeah, AMC's mostly sideways, unless they say something positive. I mean, I think a lot of people are just waiting for the actual call to start, which is in about 10 minutes or so. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but a lot of people are just sitting back waiting for the call to start, I think. They done saved all the shares. Hey, well, thank you, Wolf. You know, I appreciate it. Thoughts on GameStop? I don't know, man. I think I'm not trying to hate on the GameStop crowd here. I'm really not. I think the problem with GameStop is that, like, what's the business model for them? Like, video games are going digital completely, you know? So it's like selling physical copies of video games, buying and selling those copies is going to become a less and lesser business, you know, a more and more obsolete business as time goes on. And I know they're doing some stuff with like NFTs, but then the NFT market crashed and the crypto market crashed as well. And so it's like, what's the future of GameStop? That's the question. I'm not saying they're not going to succeed. I'm just saying, like, somebody give me an argument for the future of GameStop that's purely fundamental in nature. You know, again, I'm not saying AMC is not going to go up. I'm not saying a squeeze isn't going to happen, but like, what's the fundamental argument for GameStop right now is my real question here. Again, video games are going digital. They're like, I haven't bought a physical copy of a video game in like 5 years, half a decade, and it's only going to get worse too. Now they do sell consoles. Console sales are big, you know, and I know that's a part of their business anyway. So that's a part of their business. But again, like, over time, I guess my point is, like, people are going to game physical copies less and less and less, right? Which, again, I guess theoretically would mean that over time their margins are going to get worse and worse if they don't make it up in other avenues. So that's the question, is like, what are those other avenues? Like, what are they going to do? In that regard, like, where are they going to get that business from? Where are they going to make up that business from? You know. Yeah, I mean, the rare or the retro games are always going to be physical. You know, there's going to be people buying those up. I'm talking about like new games though. Nobody's going to buy physical copies in 5 years. Again, I play video games, and I haven't bought a physical copy of a video game. And my kids, I got a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. They love video games. They haven't bought a physical copy of a video game, except for I bought them Splatoon for Christmas. That was, so I retract that statement. I did buy him the new Splatoon for Christmas. So, but you know, again, I'm not saying like the margins might just trend more and more down. We got 7 minutes, guys. 7 minutes. All right, guys. So again, we got 6 minutes, really about five and a half. Sun still hasn't gone down. Yeah, they could get bought out. I mean, they've got the supporting base of shareholders and customers. They've got a supporting group of customers. But again, I thought, like a lot of people thought NFTs would be their next avenue, but then the NFT market and crypto market fell down. So it's like, you know, we'll see. But yeah, video games might be a collector's item, but not the new ones, man. The new ones aren't going to be a collector's item for 30 years, and then even still, like a majority of them aren't going to be worth anything regardless. The only ones that are really going to be worth something are like the special editions and stuff like that. And it's only going to be the really big games that are like really legendary historically, versus most of the other games are going to be worthless even in 20 or 30 years. You know, the big games like GoldenEye, you know, the special edition gold version of GoldenEye is, you know, a prime example of that. Those are the games that are going to be valuable. The base edition sets are not going to be worth anything, unless we're talking like, you know, 50, 100 years, then maybe. But like, you know, that's an insignificant amount of time away, you know, or that's not an insignificant amount of time away. They're going to be essentially, we're not going to see any of that. I'm scrolling incorrect on AMC. What's incorrect about them? I know the initial number they said was actually better than expected. Yeah, what I'm showing here is that AMC posted a fourth quarter loss of 14 cents on revenue of $990.9 million versus 22-cent loss per share on revenue of $978. Is that wrong? I don't think that's wrong. I think that's right. Yeah, you don't have to have a negative before the numbers. If it's in parentheses, stock terms, in terms of EPS, it means it's in the negative. So the parentheses around 14 and 21 in stock terms show that it's negative. Yeah, aside from that, it's right for sure. Again, if you're looking at the first number, who said that? Bill, you're looking at the wrong one. They originally posted a wrong number. I think it was like 26. And then they corrected it. Yeah, they corrected it. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes. Yeah, they had a negative, but earnings are all relative to expectations. And so, like I said, the best example I can use is a stock can lose 100 million, but if they expected to lose 200 million, they're still probably going to go up. That's the thing. That's a big thing to understand here. Is like, yes, they were negative, but they were expecting it to be much more negative than they were. And again, revenue was better than expected as well. So again, they were technically losing, but their graph is trending in a positive way. So hopefully they say some good things during the actual earnings call. Below, you are showing 26-cent loss for the bottom scroller. Am I really? Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, that was actually right. Sorry, that was the original one. No, you're actually right, Bill. My bad. My fault. Let me correct that. So yeah, you're actually right. All right, this should be the corrected version. All right, guys, less than a minute. I'm going to turn the music off. Y'all can hear the music, correct? We're going to do a sound check to make sure you can hear everything. Again, so we did a sound check here. The earnings call starts right basically now. NVIDIA filed for a $10 billion offering, really? Yeah, they're not reacting very well to it. I mean, an offering's dilution is really what it is. So I'm not surprised they're not reacting positively here. Let me mute this and get this ready because it's about to start right now. All right, guys. So we are waiting for the call to start. Yeah, so let me see. So the offering for NVIDIA here. When did they announce the offering for NVIDIA? Again, waiting for it to start. We got the earnings call on hold. They got hold music right now. We're waiting for it to start. I know AMC beat. Again, we're on hold waiting for the music to start. Y'all could hear the music prior to this, correct? So like prior to maybe the last minute or two. Yeah, bro. Adam Aaron better not be eating food into the mic again, man.
Year-end
Sound check.
2022 earnings webcast. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A brief question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during a conference, please press *0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce to your host, John Merriweather, Vice President, Capital Markets and Investor Relations. Thank you, John. You may begin.
Thank you, Bikram. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to AMC's fourth quarter and year-end 2022 earnings webcast. With me this afternoon is Adam Aaron, our Chairman and CEO, and Sean Goodman, our Chief Financial Officer. Before I turn the webcast over to Adam, let me remind everyone that some of the comments made by management during this webcast may contain forward-looking statements that are based on management's current expectations. Numerous risks, uncertainties, and other factors may cause actual results to differ materially from those that might be expressed today. Many of these risks and uncertainties are discussed in our most recent public filings, including our most recently filed 10-K and 10-Q. Several of the factors that will determine the company's future results are beyond the ability of the company to control or predict. In light of the uncertainties inherent in any forward-looking statements, listeners are cautioned against relying on these statements. The company undertakes no obligation to revise or update any forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information or future events. On the webcast, we may reference non-GAAP financial measures such as adjusted EBITDA, constant currency, free cash flow, operating cash burn, and operating cash generated, among others. For a full reconciliation of our non-GAAP measures to GAAP results, please see our earnings release posted in the Investor Relations section of our website earlier today. After our prepared remarks, there will be a question and answer session. This afternoon's webcast is being recorded, and a replay will be available in the Investor Relations section of our website at amctheaters.com later today. With that, I'll turn the call over to Adam.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, one and all, and thank you for joining us today. Let me add a very special welcome to the thousands of our individual shareholders who've been making it a habit to tune into these quarterly earnings webcasts for AMC Entertainment. 2022 marked another year of significant strategic, operational, and financial gains for AMC Entertainment. With our two announcements today on Q4 2022 earnings and of the launch of AMC Perfectly Popcorn at more than 2,600 U.S. Walmart stores, once again, AMC is demonstrating unmistakable progress along our multi-year pandemic recovery glide path. In my opinion, there are 5 reasons why AMC shareholders should be especially excited and smiling today. First, the increasing size of our industry as it recovers. Second, AMC's performance in Q4. Third, the fact that we are outperforming our competitors. Fourth, our agility in raising cash and reducing debt. And fifth, this morning's Walmart AMC Perfectly Popcorn announcement. First and overarching is the size of our industry itself, which is increasing. For 5 consecutive years prior to the pandemic, from 2015 to 2019, the domestic box office, which is all theaters, all brands across the United States and Canada, exceeded $11 billion. It was $11.4 billion in 2019. But then COVID came and brought our industry to its knees. And the 2020 domestic box office was only $2.2 billion. Down, as we all know, a breathtaking 82% year over year from the pre-pandemic level in 2019. Since then, our industry has seen a steady growth trajectory. The 2021 domestic box office was $4.5 billion, more than double that of 2020. And 2022's full year domestic box office of $7.4 billion was about 65% higher than 2021. The numbers again, $11.4 billion in 2019, falling to $2.2 billion, rising to $4.5 billion, rising to $7.4 billion. Based on the box office results so far in the first quarter of 2023, which is already up 44% year over year, combined with a much larger number of broader and deeper movie titles to be released in the coming quarters, based on what we know today, the 2023 domestic box office will almost certainly be significantly higher in 2023 than that of 2022. You all know that we finished 2022 and started 2023 on a very strong note with what is already the third highest grossing film of all time, James Cameron's epic sequel, Avatar: The Way of Water. It really is a testament to the genius of James Cameron that he is responsible for 3 of the 4 highest grossing movies in the history of cinema. I digress for a moment to say thank you, Jim Cameron, and thank you to your producing partner, John Landau. It won't surprise you both to hear that you both are greatly appreciated by AMC and by the millions of AMC shareholders and the millions of AMC moviegoers. Please, please, Jim and John, keep making more movies. Speaking of more movies, that's one of the key stories of the coming year, 2023. The incredible Tom Cruise's Top Gun: Maverick, which grossed more than $1.5 billion in movie theaters in 2022, and Avatar: The Way of Water, which has already grossed almost $2.3 billion in movie theaters in only 11 weeks. Among many other successful movie releases, they all prove that moviegoers no longer are afraid to go to a cinema to watch a movie, as they once were afraid in the darkest days of 2020 at the height of the pandemic. Our problem now in generating attendance in theaters is quite different. Instead, it's simply that Hollywood has been releasing fewer movies of late. Depending upon how you count, the number of major movies released in 2022 was somewhere between a third and a half fewer than the total number of such major films released in 2019 before the pandemic. Fortunately, now, finally, that is all changing. We currently estimate that 30 or more movies will gross more than $100 million domestically in 2023. That compares with only 18 doing so in the just completed 2022. That is an increase in 2023 of about 75% of the number of movie titles grossing $100 million or more. Let me repeat that. We are expecting in 2023 about a 75% increase in the number of major movie titles grossing $100 million or more compared to last year. The second reason for our enthusiasm is that AMC posted much improved results for the fourth quarter of 2022. Naturally, we're pleased that AMC Entertainment easily bested consensus estimates for Q4 2022 revenue and for Q4 2022 adjusted EBITDA, as well as posting a beat on adjusted net income and EPS for 2022 Q4 after excluding for non-cash impairment write-offs. We are similarly encouraged that Q4 2022 revenue per patron of $19.98 was well above pre-pandemic levels, thanks to rising ticket prices and the consumers' continued predilection to indulge more at our concession stands in our high-margin food and beverage business. AMC's full year 2022 results represented our strongest year since pre-pandemic 2019, with 2022 results improving over 2021, which in turn were better than those of 2020. Indeed, in full year 2022, AMC saw our annual revenue increase by more than 54% year over year, and our adjusted EBITDA improved in a single year by more than $338 million versus 2021. That's an enormous increase. The third reason we are smiling today is that as the world's largest theater chain, we are outrunning our competitors. Number 2, Regal Cineworld, is in bankruptcy court because they essentially ran out of cash in September. By contrast, AMC has been masterful in raising equity as needed, and we ended 2022 with over $840 million of cash in the bank or undrawn revolving credit lines. As for number 3 operator Cinemark, we encourage you to look at the Q4 metrics where we overlap in the United States. Average ticket price, AMC, $12.22. Cinemark, only $10 even, $12.22, $10. Food and beverage per patron, AMC, $7.76. Cinemark, $7.43. Total revenues per patron, AMC, $21.85. Cinemark, $19.35. Film exhibition costs, and this is one where you want the number to be low, not high. AMC, our film exhibition costs were 51% of our admissions revenues. At Cinemark, it was 58%. Our fourth marker of progress at AMC has been our ability to strengthen our liquidity profile and balance sheet. Over the last 12 months, AMC has raised approximately $314 million in gross cash proceeds, and we've also reduced the aggregate principal balance of our debt by approximately $390 million since the beginning of 2022. And as for that fifth reason for smiles today, the exciting popcorn announcement this morning, we are launching with Walmart. What an enormous vote of confidence that's coming to AMC from the largest retailer in the United States in the quality and consumer appeal of our new microwave and ready-to-eat popcorn. I'll come back to that and other essential topics after I return, but right now let's pass the call over to Sean Goodman, our CFO, to review our financial and operating results in more detail. Sean?
Thanks, Adam, and thanks to everyone for joining us this afternoon. 2022 was a year of growth and recovery for AMC. During the year, we welcomed 201 million guests to our theaters around the world. That's a 56% increase compared to 2021, and it's 72 million more guests than in 2021. This attendance improvement, coupled with strong admissions and food and beverage revenue per guest, translated into a $1.384 billion increase in consolidated revenue, representing a 54.7% increase compared to 2021. And likewise, 2022 adjusted EBITDA improved by more than $338 million to a positive $46.6 million. This compares to a loss of $291.7 million in 2021. Clearly, our recovery is continuing in earnest. Now, looking specifically at the fourth quarter of 2022 compared to the same period last year, the North American box office declined by 14.5% to $1.8 billion. And this was due to the relative strength of Spider-Man: No Way Home in 2021 and the limited number of new titles available for release in October and November of 2022. Our fourth quarter consolidated revenue declined by $181 million, or 15.4%, to $991 million. However, on a constant currency basis, consolidated revenue declined by 12.4% as we outperformed the overall industry because of strong operating performance metrics. For the fourth quarter, on a constant currency basis, total consolidated revenue per patron was $20.69. This is approximately 5.4% higher than the fourth quarter of 2021. And this was driven by admissions revenue per patron growth of 5.1% and food and beverage revenue per patron growth of 7.8%. It is worth noting that consolidated constant currency revenue per patron in Q4 of 2022 was 30.8% higher than pre-pandemic in 2019, indicative of the tremendous growth in revenue per patron during our recovery period. Domestic revenue in Q4 declined by 10.7%, with admissions revenue per patron increasing by 6.2%, to $12.22, and food and beverage revenue per patron increasing by 7.7% to $7.76. In addition, other revenue per patron increased by 6.3%. In the international business, on a constant currency basis, revenue in Q4 declined by 16.6%, with admissions revenue per patron increasing by 2.2% to $10.70, and food and beverage revenue per patron increasing by 7.4% to $4.98. Other revenue per patron decreased by 8.8% as theater rental revenue generated during 2021 was replaced by regular admissions and food and beverage revenue. We continue to generate strong growth in revenue per patron as our guests enjoy our innovative food and beverage offerings, including movie theater themed cocktails and collectible items. Our initiatives to optimize admissions revenue, including blockbuster pricing, are yielding positive results, and the increased adoption of our industry-leading AMC app and our marketing initiatives are all helping to drive overall revenue per patron growth. And this growth is further supported by increased premium format, or PLF, penetration, with PLF attendance representing 25.5% of domestic attendance in Q4 2022 compared to 19.8% in Q4 of 2021. And in our international markets, premium format attendance represented 18% of attendance compared to 10.7% in the fourth quarter of 2021. So clearly, guests are increasingly appreciating the premium experience offered by our IMAX, Dolby, and AMC Prime offerings. Looking forward, we will maintain our focus on the guest experience that supports the strength of our key performance metrics, including 1, ongoing enhancement of our loyalty programs and the functionality of the AMC app. 2, innovative food and beverage offerings. 3, investing in providing the best possible sight and sound experiences through advanced laser projection technology and premium offerings such as IMAX, Dolby, and AMC Prime. And 4, growing revenue through diversification initiatives such as retail popcorn, the AMC credit card, renting out our theaters during off-peak times, marketing, and promotional initiatives. All of the above to be achieved while paying very close attention to our overall operating efficiency. Let's talk about the balance sheet now. We ended the quarter with liquidity of $843 million, comprised of $632 million of cash and cash equivalents and $211 million of undrawn credit facilities. During the fourth quarter, net cash used in operating activities was $33.3 million, and we achieved positive non-GAAP operating cash generated of $57.5 million. And we define operating cash generated as cash from operating activities plus total capital expenditures before debt servicing costs and before deferred rent payback. During 2022, we were active in the capital markets as we took actions to strengthen our balance sheet. In total, in 2022, we raised $229 million of gross equity capital. We refinanced $1.4 billion of debt. We extended certain debt maturities through to 2026 and beyond. And we repurchased $123.5 million of debt at an average discount of 43.7%. The net result is a $220 million reduction in the principal amount of interest-bearing debt outstanding during 2022. And during 22, we also strengthened our balance sheet by repaying approximately $158 million of deferred rent. And this reduced our deferred rent balance to $157.2 million at December 31, 2022. You may recall that back in March of 2021, this deferred rent balance was more than $470 million. So over the last 21 months, we have lowered our deferred rent liability by approximately $313 million. All told, if we include the decrease in deferred rent, we reduced our liabilities by a total of $378 million in 2022. And in addition to that, so far in the first quarter of 2023, we have raised another $84.7 million of gross equity proceeds. And we have reduced the principal balance of our debt outstanding by an additional $170.2 million through the exchange of debt into equity and capitalizing on opportunities to repurchase debt at a discount. These actions in the first quarter of 2023 so far take our total debt reduction to $548 million when we include the reduction in deferred rent liabilities. And our total equity capital so far raised to $314 million. Note that during 2023, we plan to further reduce the deferred rent balance by another $75 to $100 million, and this will reduce the liability to approximately $60 to $80 million by the end of 2023. Regarding capital allocation, our priorities remain unchanged. One, we need to maintain sufficient liquidity to manage through the recovery phase of our business. Two, we need to strengthen our balance sheet by extending debt maturities, reducing debt, and reducing associated interest costs. Three, invest in our business to continue to enhance the guest experience. And four, opportunistically pursue value-enhancing initiatives, including those that lead to diversification of our business and revenue streams. Having the flexibility to raise equity capital allows us to opportunistically take critical actions to strengthen our balance sheet and at the same time successfully navigate through the ongoing recovery of our industry. For these reasons, I would like to take this opportunity to urge shareholders to vote in favor of the proposals that will be voted on at the upcoming shareholder meeting on March 14th. These proposals are designed to protect the long-term value of AMC equity and provide us with the flexibility necessary to ensure a successful recovery from the ongoing impact of the COVID pandemic. Our capital expenditure, net of landlord contributions, was $69 million in the fourth quarter of 2022, and we finished the year with a total net CapEx spend of $182.1 million. And similar to 2022, looking towards 2023, we expect our capital expenditure to be in the range of $150 to $200 million. Actively managing our theater portfolio continues to be a priority as we add new high-performing locations and eliminate low performers, all with the goal of improving our guest satisfaction and enhancing our overall profitability. During the fourth quarter, we added 5 new theaters and we closed 9. This brings the total number of locations closed since the pandemic began to 115, and the total new locations opened to 54 for a net reduction of 61 locations. The combined 54 new locations continue to substantially outperform the 115 closed locations prior to their closings, and they also are outperforming our underwriting expectations. Looking forward, we're optimistic about the future and the opportunities to strengthen and diversify our business while continuing to enhance our financial position. So with that, I'll hand the call back over to Adam to review some exciting recent announcements and provide an update on our strategic initiatives, including our upcoming stockholder meeting. Adam.
Thank you, Sean. As I said at the top of the call, at AMC, we're all smiles today. But by no means are we out of the woods yet. We will need to remain smart and action-oriented to successfully chart our way through what are still COVID-impacted waters. But clearly, we have been and are now making great progress. And while we have much more work ahead of us still, my ongoing conversations with our studio partners, including some as recently as this weekend, buoys my optimism that more movies are indeed headed to theaters and that the value of theatrical exhibition is clearly recognized and internalized by the heads of every single major studio. As the leader of AMC, I am proud that we have resiliently weathered many a storm over the past 36 months. A storm first of the virus itself, then the threat to exclusive theatrical windows. More recently, the conviction held by some that streaming services would win out over theaters, and all through it was the concern that there would not be enough cash in the coffers for AMC to outlast all that we had to stare down. What's more, there was the added complexity for us of doing something well that few, if any, companies ever thought about before: how to adjust to a whole new cadre of millions of individual shareholders taking ownership of our company. Fortunately for us, the people who predicted that we could not weather the storms were all wrong. And more fortunately for us, those new retail investors turned out to be the saviors of our company. Their passion for AMC saved our company as they provided us with the cash resources we needed to survive. They also flooded us with some truly great ideas, including one of my personal favorites, that we should sell popcorn to the home market in what is, after all, a multi-billion-dollar category. This morning's exciting news announcement that the retail launch of AMC's microwave and ready-to-eat perfectly popcorn is at hand, and exclusively with the nation's largest retailer, Walmart. It keeps a promise to do so that I made 16 months ago to our shareholders, and it's yet another example of AMC's powerful commitment to innovation. Beginning on March 11, just ahead of the Oscars telecast on March 12, AMC's ready-to-eat popcorn will be available exclusively at hundreds of Walmart locations on much sought-after featured end cap displays. In the weeks that follow, AMC Perfectly Popcorn will hit the shelves again exclusively at more than 2,600 Walmart stores in the United States, with 3 varieties of ready-to-eat popcorn in the following flavors: classic butter, extra butter, and for those seeking a lower sodium solution, lightly salted. The ready-to-eat varieties are expected to be priced at $3.98 per bag, plus tax, and they all offer the authentic taste of real AMC movie theater popcorn to be enjoyed anywhere. Then, our microwave AMC Perfectly Popcorn will become available at Walmart. Again, in the same 3 flavors: classic butter, extra butter, lightly salted. And they are expected to retail for $4.98 plus tax for a 6-count box. As an added and unique benefit, the extra butter microwave boxes will include 6 packets of additional buttery topping that eaters at home can use to slather all over their popcorn, truly replicating that ultimate AMC movie theater popcorn experience. This first-of-its-kind approach by a theatrical exhibitor to distribute ready-to-eat and microwave popcorn at retail outlets all across the country further differentiates AMC as the undisputed leader in this industry and greatly extends the visibility of the AMC brand. Another idea that came to us from our investors was to sell AMC and movie-themed merchandise. We are doing so now across the United States and online. As every major movie releases, as every big tentpole releases, we have something themed for that film. And it's but one of many such examples of success here are, if you can believe it, Ant-Man popcorn helmets have been quite popular, selling almost $2 million worth in less than 2 weeks. This has proven to be such a successful concept that we're about to launch the same activity across our theaters in Europe. Thank you, retail shareholders, for the idea. Next on the innovation docket is the launch of our new co-branded AMC Entertainment Visa card, coming soon to a wallet or a purse near you. It's been designed to drive increased AMC brand loyalty, along with incremental attendance to our AMC theaters, and should generate attractive financial returns with very little risk to boot. And finally, we recently announced a potentially important development. We announced that we are testing sightline seating at AMC in some of our theaters in New York, Chicago, and Kansas City. New York and Chicago because they're big cities in the United States, Kansas City because we're headquartered here, and we ourselves want to walk into our theaters and talk to our guests and gauge their reactions directly and firsthand. The test is being done for a potential nationwide rollout later in 2023. With sightline seating, as you know, if you saw the release, we are charging a slight premium for the most popular seats in an auditorium, but discounting the prices of less popular seats closer to the screen up front. This is in line with how other sellers price their seats for live theater, for concerts, for sporting events. It's also how we've been pricing movie theater tickets in Europe for many years. We do understand, however, that this is a substantial change to the status quo for U.S. moviegoers, so we'll be watching very closely how moviegoers react to the changes that are being tested right now. We will report back to you in future calls what we're seeing in the tests, and we look forward to this thing working well for the benefit both of our moviegoing public and for AMC. AMC's ability to continue to raise capital during our ongoing recovery makes all these potentially transformative innovations and new actions possible, and it is crucial to our future success. To that end, I'd like to utilize the remainder of my formal remarks today to discuss the upcoming March 14 special stockholders meeting and the importance of the proposals on which our shareholders are already voting. Last August, we issued 516,800,000 APE preferred equity units as a dividend to holders of our AMC common shares on a one-for-one basis. The primary goals of issuing the APE dividend was to provide AMC with a new currency that could be used to strengthen our balance sheet by generating cash, bolstering our liquidity, to reduce our debt, and to allow us to grow. And that is precisely what the APE units have done. Since September of 2022, the creation of APE units resulted in AMC successfully raising $314 million of gross cash proceeds and allowed us to reduce the principal balance of our debt by more than $221 million, most of which was profitably repurchased at a substantial discount. Indeed, AMC is unequivocally a stronger company today as a result of the creation of the APE dividend, and it's allowing us to raise cash and reduce debt. I might add that came amidst a lot of press speculation that would be unsuccessful in doing so. To the naysayers and doomtellers, you know what I say. Choke on that. However, despite having the same economic and voting rights as our AMC common shares, APE preferred equity units have consistently traded at a mysterious and substantial discount to AMC common shares. This discount creates inefficiencies that increases our cost of capital and causes unnecessary and preventable dilution. So, after careful thought, the AMC Board of Directors is presenting important proposals for shareholders to vote on at the upcoming special meeting on March 14, 2022. These proposals are designed to protect the long-term value of a shareholder's investment in AMC while still providing AMC with the flexibility necessary to continue along our recovery trajectory in a challenging environment. As you already know, the two key proposals are: 1, increase the number of authorized AMC common shares from 524 million to 550 million, and combine the AMC common shares and 8 preferred units. Second, to effect a reverse stock split of 1 share for every 10, which together with the increase in authorized common shares permits that automatic conversion of 8 units into AMC common stock. Our board and I strongly believe that it's in the best interest now of AMC shareholders to convert 8 units into AMC common shares, thereby simplifying our capital structure and eliminating the gap between the prices of 8 units and of AMC shares. As AMC's single largest individual shareholder, with millions of AMC shares and 8 units, I have a vested interest in the outcome of this election because my net worth rises as AMC strengthens and my net worth falls as AMC gets weaker. I currently own outright some 3.7 million AMC shares or 8 units and have a further economic interest in an additional 4.5 million 8 units or AMC shares as a result of granted but unvested stock. In total, I have some 8.2 million AMC shares or AMC units. You know what that means? It means that my interests are directly aligned with those of our shareholders. I am not some hedge fund plant or Trojan horse, as a few of the more bizarre conspiracy theories go. I'm on the side of the retail investor because I am myself a retail investor. And I'd like to share with you the 7 reasons why I have voted yes, voting for the proposals that are being recommended by the board. Before I do so, however, I should point out that litigation has been brought in the Delaware Court of Chancery, attempting to block our shareholder proposals and your right to vote on them. We believe such litigation is without merit, that our actions have been totally lawful and consistent with our charter, and we will vigorously defend our position in this matter. The court has ordered that the March 14 vote shall take place on schedule, but that any implementation action resulting from the vote be held in abeyance until the court rules on the substance of the claims being made. So the vote is on, and it is on now. I urge our shareholders to vote now so that your voice can be heard. And because I think it's the right thing for me to do and for you to do, I urge you to vote for the proposals with me. Here's why. First, a more resilient AMC. Having the flexibility to efficiently and opportunistically tap both the equity and debt capital markets results in a more resilient company. Were it not for our ability to have raised both equity and debt over the past 3 years, AMC would not have survived the pandemic that caused a material decline in our business activity. Second, reduce capital raising inefficiencies associated with 8 units trading at a discount to AMC shares. Converting 8 units to AMC shares will result in a single price for all AMC equity. This single price eliminates the inefficiency inherent in the discount between 8 units and AMC common stock and will allow AMC to more efficiently raise equity capital at the most attractive terms in the future. Third, enhance the ability to raise cash and increase liquidity. Well, I believe AMC is currently in a strong liquidity position with more than $840 million of available liquidity at the end of December 22, the ability to efficiently raise additional liquidity when needed has proven to be critical for this company in the past. And depending upon the path and timing of recovery, may be critical to our survival again in the future. Fourth, strengthen AMC's balance sheet. AMC's balance sheet is expected to strengthen over time as the box office grows. At the same time, as we have demonstrated in recent months, there continue to be attractive opportunities for us to use available equity or equity proceeds to buy back debt or exchange debt for equity at a discount to face value, which greatly benefits shareholders. Fifth, simplify ownership in AMC. Consolidating ownership of AMC into one single class for all shareholders eliminates the added complexity that some brokerages have imposed on their clients in the holding or trading of our preferred equity securities. In addition, the single class of equity eliminates the potential for hedge funds or other investors to engage in arbitrage trading strategies between the APE and AMC securities. Sixth, position AMC to transform into a stronger, more diversified company. A single equity class will better allow us to pursue attractive shareholder value creation opportunities, to diversify and to transform our business. And last, seventh, create long-term value for AMC. A vote for the resolutions is a vote in favor of the long-term value of AMC. Since we announced our intention to hold a shareholder vote to convert APE units into AMC shares, the total equity value of our company has increased. The other matter of consequence being discussed at the March 14 shareholder meeting is the 1-for-10 reverse stock split. So let me quickly address that topic. If you have 10 $1 bills in your pocket and you exchange them for one $10 bill, you still have $10 either way. If you would have 10 $10 bills in your pocket and you exchange them for one $100 bill, you'd still have $100 either way. This reverse split in and of itself should be neutral. However, for a variety of reasons, including the technical listing rules of stock exchanges, we think it's unwise for our shares to be trading at levels in the single digits. The reverse split also creates room to allow for the full conversion of APEs into common stock, which we also think is a good idea for each of you, as I previously explained, and creates the capacity for common stock to be issued as equity in the future. In my view, I believe that there's no compelling argument why our shareholders should generally be averse to a reverse stock split. As I stated earlier, having the flexibility to continue to raise capital as we navigate through our recovery is crucial to AMC's future success and has thus far kept us from the fate of several of our competitors who have been forced to seek bankruptcy protection. Were we to be somehow deprived of this cash-raising capability, our future may not nearly be so bright as it appears currently. Indeed, our future could turn quite bleak in just a blink of an eye. I cannot emphasize enough that while things are looking up now, our success could literally vaporize in an instant if we misstep. The reason we have succeeded to date is that, in our opinion, we have threaded the needle perfectly heretofore during this pandemic. But make no mistake, the need to continue to thread the needle perfectly going forward is unchanged at AMC Entertainment. Fortunately, we're pretty good at this, and we've been at it a while, and we know what we're doing. I know I have about 3 or 4 million friends out there who like to give me advice, but I'd like to remind you we've done a pretty good job of stewarding this company during tough times. Avoiding a dire fate is a commitment that I personally made to our shareholders in the earliest days of this global pandemic, when our revenues went to zero overnight and stayed there for months. I remain steadfast in that commitment to you today. Every action that AMC has taken is in direct support of that commitment, despite what the naysayers or the short sellers or those who wish us harm would have you believe. Our mission now is clear. And it's the same exact cause that so many of our shareholders joined and embraced way back in the dark days of 2020 and early 2021. You all remember the hashtag, SaveAMC. That's the report for Q4 2022. Sean, let's now move to questions, both from our industry analysts and from our shareholders.
Great, thanks, Adam. Let's start with some questions from our shareholders. There are a number of questions coming through about the upcoming shareholder vote that we just spoke about. Here's a good example. What are the implications if the vote passes? And what are the implications if the vote does not pass?
So if the vote passes, it's my expectation that this ridiculous gap between the price of an ape and the price of an AMC share will go away. And when I say it's a ridiculous gap, folks are the same thing. They have the same economic rights. They have the same voting rights. Why should an ape be trading at a third the price of a common share or a seventh of the price of a common share as it was just 2 months ago? If the vote passes, I think what you'll find is that this discounting of the ape goes away. What that means is that we'll be able to raise capital on, in my opinion, more attractive terms. Similarly, what will happen if the vote passes is there'll be a 1 to 10 reverse stock split. So you'll stop seeing the share price of AMC floating around $3 or $4 or $5 a share. The simple math is it should multiply by 10. Where it goes from there, up or down, that's a function of market dynamics. But it is simple math. You'll be trading 10 shares for one, which mathematically should be priced 10 times higher. If the votes that we're voting on at this shareholder meeting do not pass, it's true that the reverse split won't happen. But what is true is that the status quo doesn't change, which means that there still will be apes and there still will be AMC shares. The apes will continue to trade at a discount, I would guess. No one has a perfect crystal ball, but that's been the experience since August. And since our ability to raise capital is tied only to the price of the ape, if the ape continues to exist, it would seem that we wouldn't be blocked from raising capital, but we'd be raising capital on much less attractive terms. It would cause more dilution of the stock that is entirely 100% preventable if a majority of our shareholders vote yes.
So here's another question related to this. It's related to the reverse stock split. And basically it says, why do we need to do a reverse stock split? Can't we just convert ape units into AMC without doing this reverse stock split?
We could, but as I said in my earlier remarks, the share price would hover in the single digits. And there are certain technical listing rules on stock exchanges. We don't think it's a good idea for our stock to be trading in single digits. And since we're going to have a shareholder vote anyway, it seemed logical to us to resolve both questions at the same time. It's expensive to call these special meetings of shareholders. It costs millions of dollars to do so. We'd rather get them both done now than have to deal with a reverse stock split at some point in the future.
We have a number of shareholders asking about their proxy materials. One example here is, I have not yet received my proxy materials from my broker. What do I need to do to be able to vote, to get my proxy materials and be able to vote?
As Bill Clinton famously said in the 1990s, for those of you who are old enough to remember the 1990s, I feel your pain. My AMC shares and APE units are at 4 brokerage firms, and I've received the voting materials from 3 of the 4 firms, but not the 4th. So if you have not heard from your broker, you should do what I'm about to do. Call them. Explain to them that there is a March 14 shareholder vote, that you own shares or units, and that you'd like to cast your vote, and they should get you a proxy. If your broker is not acting in response to your question quickly enough, email or call our proxy solicitor, D.F. King. You can reach them at an email address, amc@dfking.com, amc@dfking.com. Their phone number is 800-859-8511. All the information I just gave is for our U.S. shareholders, probably our Canadian shareholders, and international shareholders in many countries. But we are all aware, painfully, that the brokerage firms in some countries, especially in Europe, do not facilitate shareholder voting. And if you're with one of those firms, there's not much you can do other than put your shares in a different broker who would allow you to vote at future shareholder meetings.
And there's a question here about the lawsuit that you mentioned in your prepared remarks. It says it has been reported that AMC is defending against 2 lawsuits relating to the issuance of APE units. Is this true? And can you elaborate?
Yes, litigation's been filed. We think it's misguided. We believe that all the actions we've taken are lawful. We think we have the merits in this case. It's consistent with our charter. We will defend our position vigorously, and we are encouraged that the Delaware Court of Chancery has allowed this March 14 vote to proceed on schedule.
There's some questions here about our loyalty programs, and I'll just read a few of them to you. Does AMC have any plans to revise loyalty programs and A-list memberships? For example, what about family memberships, partnerships with streaming companies, maybe a lower price for memberships with restrictions to limit frequency of attendance, etc.?
So those are all good questions and good ideas. We have been and are studying them all. The 2 of the most important marketing programs we have are AMC Stubs and especially AMC Stubs A-List. About half of our total clientele in the United States participates in Stubs, and about 15% of our total activity in the United States comes from A-List members. These are very important programs. We're constantly reviewing them for possible changes and improvements. There's nothing immediately on the horizon that would change either program other than AMC Visa Entertainment Card that's going to be added, an AMC Entertainment Visa Card, yeah, I said it right. AMC Entertainment Visa Card that'll be coming as part of the Stubs program that will allow Stubs members to earn even more Stubs points, both when they spend at our theaters and when they spend away from our theaters. But keep the good ideas flowing. We continue to think hard about what's the best way for AMC to approach the movie-going public.
Question about our theater footprint. Does AMC plan on opening new theaters in areas such as perhaps South Carolina or other states where AMC has a limited presence?
I can't make a specific comment about South Carolina, but at least South Carolina has one of our theaters. We have none in Hawaii. We have none in Alaska. We have none in Mississippi. I don't think we're in Vermont. But we do have the largest national footprint of any operator. I think we're in 43 or 44 states on the District of Columbia. We have a sizable market share in the largest cities all across the country. Plus, we have a big platform of theaters, even in smaller rural markets. We're always looking to add theaters, and you said earlier in the call, Sean, that we closed over 100 theaters that were not performing during the pandemic, but we opened up 54 new ones. And the 54 new ones were producing to the bottom line far more than the 100 that we closed. I think 10 of the 54 probably produced far more EBITDA than the 100 that we closed. So we're always looking to grow. We can grow by adding new build theaters from the ground up, or there's also the opportunity for us to inexpensively add into our system theaters that may have been opened by other operators who have faltered during the pandemic. Several firms declared for bankruptcy over the last 3 years and shed a lot of theaters. And we picked up a bunch. As you know, we picked up about a third of the ArcLight circuit, which was headquartered in Los Angeles. We picked up more than half of the Bowtie circuit that was headquartered in Connecticut. Our eyes continue to be wide open. I do believe that there will be a continued opportunity for AMC to add theater locations quite inexpensively. And I might add, to do so sometimes requires money, which is why it was so very helpful to us that we have raised over $300 million of cash from August through January. The more cash in the bank, the easier it is to make the decision to add theaters and grow.
There is a huge amount of interest in the retail launch of AMC Perfectly Popcorn. Let me read to you just a few of the questions. Can you talk more about the opportunity for AMC in retail popcorn? When will AMC Popcorn be available in the US nationwide? Will AMC Popcorn be available to purchase online through the AMC website? Will AMC Popcorn be available to purchase in Canada and maybe in Europe?
That's a lot of questions. Yes, the enthusiasm and excitement for AMC Perfectly Popcorn at home is real. I see it on Twitter. When I look at the readership of the tweets I've been putting out recently on popcorn, they're sky high. The likes are sky high. The retweets are sky high. The comments back to me, every single one of which I read, by the way. I got like 4,000 or 5,000 inbound messages on the popcorn tweets recently, and I read them all. Boy, they make me excited because you're excited about it. We launched March 11th, Oscar weekend, with end cap displays at Walmart. They're almost impossible to get. And Walmart volunteered them up to us because they're excited about popcorn. And by late April, we'll be at more than 2,600 Walmart stores. That's more than half of all Walmart locations in the United States. We will have a website where you'll be able to go to find out at what locations you'll be able to actually pick up boxes of microwave popcorn or bags of ready-to-eat popcorn. We are going to sell on Walmart.com, which of course is nationwide. I would expect it will sell on AMCtheaters.com. We're discussing whether or not we should sell microwave boxes of popcorn at our theaters. Like, it's all new. We haven't started yet, and the interest level is very high. This is a nice position to be in when you're launching a new product. Let's put it this way. We're setting up our production plants to make millions of bags and microwave pouches of popcorn. We think this is a big opportunity for us. Right now, we're going to launch only in the United States. Canada is a possibility. If we did it in Europe, we would probably not do it under the AMC brand. We would do it under one of the Odeon brands. Our cinemas operate with their own distinct brands in several countries across Europe. But right now, you crawl before you walk before you run. We're going to start in the United States and see where it goes from there.
Thanks, Adam. We continue to receive a very large number of really terrific suggestions from our retail investors, business ideas to grow and diversify and build on the business. And I want to say that we as a management team, review these, we investigate these. So please, investors, please keep these ideas coming. I think with that,
Let me just respond to
Sure.
that. What an oddity, a company that actually listens to its investors. How about that for a change? Yes, sir. You want to go to a question from analysts, maybe?
better questions.
We're already running a little bit long, but if on this call today, but if any investor wants to ask, go ahead.
Operator, we can go to questions from analysts.
Thank you very much. We will now be taking live questions. If you'd like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press *2 if you'd like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. So we have time for only one question, and we take question from the line of Eric Wold with B. Riley Securities. Please go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Adam and Sean. I appreciate it. I guess as much as I'm looking forward to the popcorn business being a separately reported segment, I have a couple questions on the core, the theater business. I guess first off,
Hey, Eric, not to interrupt, but you know what you're going to like more than how we report the popcorn results? Eating the popcorn. It's really good. We actually worked for a full year on the flavor profile of these products. They're really great.
I'm looking forward to enjoying it with the Oscars. On the Sightline seating plan or program, I guess obviously it makes sense given what we've seen with other entertainment businesses. I guess what are your thoughts on where you see the biggest benefit coming from? Is it the premium on the better seats? Is it filling up the less desirable seats now that they're priced lower? Or is it that loyalty members don't pay the premium seat charges? Is the benefit driving more loyalty membership into that program?
And the answer is all of the above. You've got the three benefits of the concept, right? We can discount up front, we can charge a slight premium in the middle, and we don't charge when I say the middle, the dead center of the auditorium where most people want to sit. And if we don't charge that premium and impose it on A-listers, that's just another big value increase for A-list members, which should make more people want to be A-list members. So all three have the ability to drive improvement. And, some people have looked at this as a price increase, which of course it is on day one. But what's really interesting is that we are in inflationary times. And inflationary times cause cost to rise. And without making any comment about what AMC is going to do, because it's not legal to talk about pricing prospectively, but companies facing inflationary pressures tend to raise prices, not talking about AMC. Under the pre-Sightline structure of our industry, if we wanted to raise a price in a theater, the only choice we had was to raise the price on all the seats in the theater. And so what's one of the many benefits of Sightline, other than the three that you mentioned, are that if we feel the need to raise prices, we might only do it in the most popular seats in the auditorium and actually hold the line and not raise prices on other seats in the auditorium. So it's actually it is a way of increasing the price now. It's a potential way of preventing a price increase later on. And then there is, in fact, the opportunity to discount up front. I'm telling you, I've been looking at what we call heat maps, which are what seats are booked for a particular movie. And nobody sits in row one in a movie theater. It just doesn't happen. It could be opening night of Star Wars. Every seat in the auditorium in row 3 to 18 is booked solid, and row 1 is empty. And it really is, there is a possibility here that by discounting the price up front, we might be able to expand the movie-going market to more price-sensitive consumers.
Perfect. That's helpful, Adam. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, is that it? Do they only have
Thank
one
you.
question?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the question and answer session, and I would like to turn the floor back over to Mr. Aaron for closing comments.
All right,
Over
here
to you,
goes.
sir.
Here's AA Ron.
Thank you,
himself.
operator. To everyone on the call, thank you for being with us today. Today was a good day for AMC. We reported results that were unexpectedly positive. We introduced our popcorn line, and we've had a lot of discussion about the importance of the March 14 shareholder meeting that will simplify and strengthen the capital structure of this company going forward. Thank you for joining us today. There are a lot of big movies coming out. We look forward to seeing you at our theaters sometime soon.
Okay, so here's the problem with all of this. Like, I got a lot of questions now. Like, number one, I'm still green on the day. I am currently up about $330 on the day still, regardless of whether holding AMC or not. And so, like, my AMC trade didn't even ruin my day today. Okay, here's the problem. All right, why even do the APE dividend if you're going to just merge it back with AMC in the first place? He's like, hey, why is there such a big discrepancy between APE and AMC? It's because APE doesn't do anything. Like, people said, hey, let me sell this and then hold on to AMC. That's why. Okay. Number two, a reverse split is definitely not good. Okay. A reverse split is not good. It's not what you want. You know, you want a buyback is what you want. If you're AMC, you do not want a reverse split. That's never a good sign. You know, so like, why even come out with the APE dividend if you're just going to reverse it a couple, later down the line anyway? It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand. Again, it is what it is. Hopefully AMC does something. I think the big thing AMC has going for it is the supporting, the supporting traders that are sitting in it, But again, we'll see what happens. Either way, AMC dropping big on that news, as it should. I mean, I'm not saying I want it to drop, but I mean, when you say, hey, APE dividend is the new special cool thing, and then, a couple months later you say, oh, well, we're just going to combine it back with AMC shares and then also do a reverse split, AMC is going to drop. That's just kind of what goes on. Stick around, though, guys. We are going to be doing a crypto show today. So stick around. As soon as I end this stream, we are going to be doing a crypto show today. So yeah, we'll see you guys over there. Good luck. Again, as soon as we close down this stream, it should immediately bring you to the crypto channel that we have going on. And so if you haven't already, if for whatever reason, sometimes with mobile, it doesn't bring you to the crypto channel. And so if that's the case, here is the link. Good luck. Love you all. Y'all hit that subscribe button. We will be back bright and early tomorrow morning, as we always are. Day trading, swing trading, and investing, the opening bell. Luckily, Google paid me some money today, and Google's doing all right in pre-market. It's not really breaking down like the actual SPY is. So luckily, Google made my day up really nice, and, AMC did not, and that's okay. But yeah, we're going to end the stream. As soon as we close it down, we're going to go to our crypto show. I'll see you guys over there.